And welcome back to the Rugby Connection podcast. It has been a while, we do apologise, but we are back and we are back better than ever. We have got the Nations Championship upon us this weekend. 8 hours of rugby. I know what I'm doing on Saturday. We're going to do a deep dive for round one. Joining me, as always, is my lovely co host, Harry. Mate, it's been too long. How are you getting on?
Oh man, it has been too long. It has absolutely been too long. Yeah, doing okay. Had a bit of a late night in London last night, but ready to,
Hey.
no, was not even drinking. That would have been fun, but it was fun anyway. Yeah, ready to talk some codes, some oval ball, some ruggers, and other alternate names for rugby that I can't think of. Some footy. That'll
Yeah,
be one.
no, it's going to be good. Nations Championship begins this weekend. For those that don't know, it is North versus South. The Six Nations: France, Ireland, Wales, England, Ireland, Scotland, Italy. I forgot. Yeah, and they take on the Springboks, the All Blacks, the Wallabies, Argentina, Fiji, and Japan. Which I know you're thinking Japan are in the Northern Hemisphere, but they're more associated with Southern Hemisphere rugby, so that's why they're there. It's just to balance it out. That's all it is.
Yeah, definitely to balance it out. Bit strange, but kind of makes sense.
Yeah, from a rugby standpoint, it makes sense. From any other standpoint, it doesn't. But anyway, we've got massive games across the board for the first round, and we're just going to do it in order. We're just going to run through them. We're going to give a little preview, a little head to head, maybe even a score prediction for each game. Where do we start, Harry?
Well, I would say that we've got to start with the first game, which is, of course, New Zealand versus France, taking
Oh,
place in Christchurch in the new One New Zealand Stadium. So
I
after
like that stadium. I'm a big fan of that.
I think it's done really, really well. Like the design of it is really cool. Part of me
Mm.
thinks, could you've made it bigger? Because obviously one of the reasons I can remember, and this is going back a bit of time now, that 2011 Rugby World Cup, one of the reasons why that happened is because New Zealand wanted it to happen because they knew eventually they would not have the infrastructure to be able to successfully host a Rugby World Cup. So this whole
Mm.
new stadium that's come in being like, I think it's 25,000, something like that. I would have thought you could have made it bigger because then, I mean, more revenue, potentially you've got more infrastructure for if you're to ever host a Rugby World Cup again, but it looks like they won't be able to do that until at least 2039 with all the reports of 2035. But
Sure.
detracting from that aside, it is a beautiful stadium. It is so, so cool. And I think that they've done a really good job there. And it's cool to see the Crusaders have like a proper home after not having a proper home, but having a proper home for all this
I know,
time.
yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. Like it's like a partially built stadium, but they made it home for so long. But now they've actually got a home where you don't have to adjust the seats or all that. That's it there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I think 25,000 is all right. It looks really good when you see the stats, especially from like Super Rugby. That's like Crusaders Blues sold out in 10 minutes. I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah. When you just say the number that 25,000 tickets have been sold out in 10 minutes, that you then go, oh, damn. And even though I'm saying that 25,000 isn't the biggest, for a club stadium, I think that is insane, especially considering the size of rugby relative to like
Yeah.
a football. Like when you've got Liverpool,
Mhm.
80,000 get sold out like that. I think it's 80, 70, 60, 80, something like that. But then also, my only gripe with it being 25,000 is for an international stadium. Like, it's a bit small, but yeah, if hey, it's going to be an amazing atmosphere anyway. Like
Oh yeah.
the first time that the All Blacks are going to play in the One New Zealand Stadium, and they are taking on France. What do
It's
we
a
think's
fitting
going to
first opponent.
happen?
It's a very fitting first opponent. These two, I mean, just look at the history books, whether it's the autumn test or summer tours or rugby World Cups.
Mm,
France versus New Zealand, they just mesh, and there's always stories coming out of it, positive or negative. There's always something that comes out of the tail end of the games. It's great, and I'm actually excited. I feel a bit of a dick saying it like this, but France are actually taking this seriously.
yeah,
There's actually some heavy hitters going on tour. There's
yeah,
not one. There is one not going that we need to address. It looks like he was going, but now he's definitely not. Antoine Dupont. He's not going to the Southern Hemisphere. And it's rubbing people the wrong way, and I really don't understand why. And it's people that it doesn't actually affect.
Yeah, it's strange because obviously I think one thing that has massively benefited France for this competition is the fact that Bordeaux did not get into the top eight.
Yeah.
I think that's actually a huge blessing in disguise for them because if we look at the French team, really, the majority of it is made up with loads of the Toulouse players, loads of the Bordeaux players, and then you've got like a smattering of like the most talented best players from Pau or Stade Francais, maybe a Racing, couple of Toulon boys, but the majority of that squad is made up of Toulouse, Bordeaux. And obviously, the French season is so long. Like they start in like September and they finish in like towards the end of June. Super Rugby has both started after they've started and finished before they finish. It's a crazy amount of games that they have to play. And yeah, it is a shame that Dupont isn't going. What I think is what I think is good is that they fully had the intention of taking him. Like
Hmm.
he wouldn't have been able to play New Zealand because obviously you can't play a final and then a week later play a test match. That for player welfare reasons, no, you can't do that. It's ridiculous to also traveling
Sure.
like a 27-hour flight, I would say. But I was gutted, even as an Englishman, seeing that Dupont's not going to go. But realistically, if he's got a calf issue that is a bit more serious than they thought, there's no point in going and hurting yourself more, especially when you've got like Maxime Lucu, who at the minute many would say is France's starting scrum half. And then when you pair him with Jalibert, you've got
Yeah.
an incredibly set partnership of a nine who has got all of the rugby IQ in the world, all of the game management in the world, can goal kick, can do all this, that, and the other. And you've got a 10 who just goes, jouer, jouer. And he's incredible. I love Jalabert. And to be honest, I prefer Jalabert to Untermac. But I've always said that.
Yeah.
I'm much more of a but even the fact that Untermac is going, you're taking both Jalabert and Untermac as your tens, I think with an Antoine Hastoy as well to go or
Mhm. Yeah.
To New Zealand. It's ridiculous. But also, the other thing with this game, which I think is actually going to be quite interesting, is that potentially Dave Rennie is going to pick a lot of the Canes boys.
Yes.
Mr. Galtier, Mr. Fabien Galtier, is going to pick a lot of the Bordeaux boys. So are we going to get the who would win, Bordeaux or Hurricanes? Like, oh, what's going to happen here? Which
Ben
just
Smith's
adds
getting his team.
Ben
Love it.
Ben Smith is getting his absolute I don't even commission that week. I don't know if it's commission, but he's going to
Yeah.
have a field day in reporting on this. But yeah, it's going to be a cracking game.
The
And
head to head. I usually with a head to head, you pick one versus one. I think we're going to
mm,
have to. I think we need to tag team this one. Maxime Lecoux and Mathieu Jalibert versus Cam Roigard and Ruben Love.
yeah,
Give me it. I need it. I want it. It's going
also
to be electric.
I think you could have Mofana and Deporter against Geordie Barrett and Billy Proctor.
I get where you're going, but I don't know if Proctor starts. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. As much as I would start Ruben Love as well, because I think that he's had a phenomenal season. I think he's really grown into a proper 10 as well as being
Yeah.
a fullback, because I think he came through as a fullback or fullback 10. They weren't quite sure. Similar to a Damien McKenzie, but obviously I think he's might be more of an athletic player, maybe. Um, yeah, that would be the thing if they do go with Ruben Love, and that even putting like if Peno plays, putting Peno against Finnegan Ofo, that's going to be
Oh,
amazing.
there's so many head to heads. I mean,
Yeah,
yes,
Asafo
yes.
Amora against Maxine Lamont,
Oh,
Quadzilla
God.
versus the Ginger Ninja. I'm going to call him, even though he's a hooker. Ginger Ninja Maxine Lamont. That will be
Yeah, yeah,
brilliant as well.
there's some heavy hitters, heavy hitters across the board.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a cracking game. Like that's a brilliant first game. My only worry would be for France is not if they take it seriously, because I think they will take it seriously, as in like, we're all here. We may as well play. The Bordeaux lads haven't played for like a month. They'll be fine. And then all the other teams as well. But I just think if I'm going to predict who's going to win, and obviously this is a bit fence city at the start. It's the first time that Dave Rennie is coaching. It's the first time
Yeah.
that New Zealand are playing in the new One New Zealand Stadium. They've got the Canes boys that are coming off loads of form with a lot of like great players that you think from like the Blues and like the story of Anton Segner being the
Yeah.
German
Fair.
Kiwi playing, been there since like 15. Ironically, he has a stronger Kiwi accent than some of the lads in the squad, which I just find hilarious. Like when you hear him play, you're like, "Oh wow, you've really immersed yourself in the culture, mate. Your New Zealand accent is stronger than the others. I can't even hear the liquor German in there." But and then obviously you've got a lot of the Crusaders boys who played really really well. But then the French team is just it's going to be great as well. But if I had to favour a winner, I am going to say I think that New Zealand will get it just
Yeah.
because it's the first game in One New Zealand Stadium. It is the first time that Dave Rennie is out there. France are going to be tired after traveling and everything. It might be a bit loose. I think it's good because also this is on points. We've got to remember that it is a
Yeah. So
competition.
it's a
So
league, yeah.
obviously
Yeah.
four for a win, five for four tries, losing bonus, try bonus. I think I'm going to say that New Zealand are going to win this game 5 points, but France will have two bonus points, one losing,
Oh.
one try bonus. I think it's going to be within 7.
I'm with you on the seven. I just don't know if. Oh, thing is, they're both so attacking. It also wouldn't surprise me that it doesn't pan out that way. Like very rarely do two attacking teams get to go loose. You know what I mean?
Mm,
It usually changes the structure. One either gets to go loose and run rampant, or they just change the system altogether and it's we'll just take the points. So you're like,
yeah,
I do have New Zealand within seven getting the win. So it's going to be a nail biter, and what a perfect start to this new championship.
absolutely. Now, I think moving on to the second game, if I check my list,
Mm.
Japan, Italy. I think this game is going really under the radar.
Oh yeah,
I think it's going really, really, really under the radar, this game. Like,
you've got casual fans that will just see that and be like, nah, I'm not interested. But
yeah,
then the purists will be like, hold on, there's something here. It's not going to be the most extravagant game. Let's be real. Neither Japan or Italy are really going to be in the hunt for the title come November.
I think they'll
Without
be
being too
I
harsh.
think no, I think they'll be hunting for scalps. Like I think the two of them
Yeah,
could
they might.
definitely
Yeah,
like
they're going to go for a few shocks, absolutely.
well
But
well
they
let's put it
also could play each other again in the finals weekend. I could see that
uh,
happening.
yeah, absolutely. I think key things for this game, and as much as I don't want to talk about like, oh, how weather's going to affect it, but Tokyo in the summer is hot,
So humid.
is humid, it's disgusting. It's going to be like 35 degrees, probably like 80-90% humidity. I think it's being played at like oh, what time is it being played? 9:40 UTC, whatever that means. I'm not sure. Somebody more clever than me can tell me. But
There you go.
even though Mr. Eddie Jones, the Beaver, is not going to be
The
coaching,
Beaver.
he gets called the Beaver by the England boys. Yeah, never
Okay,
heard
I
that.
did not know that.
The
No,
Beaver.
I did not know
Yeah, probably because he's like a or something. I don't know. He gets called the Beaver. He gets called the Beaver. I don't know. Hey, my what who I wish was my good friend Joe Marler calls him the Beaver.
that. Oh, okay, that's
So
fine.
if
Fair
Joe
enough.
Marler's calling him the Beaver, hopefully Eddie,
Yeah, who are
please,
we target?
I've called
Yeah,
you the Beaver. But anyway, he has 100% had an impact on when and how this game is going to be played. Like Japan are going to come into this game probably playing the most batshit crazy, just speedable because that's what
oh, yeah,
you think about what are the key things like when people talk about oh what is a country known for rugby wise when you talk about Japan the thing that I always associate is with them is speed of ball. They are
yeah.
trying to play a million miles an hour because they just want to tire the bodies, find the gaps, and get through them. Like it's almost like it's quite lateral, I would almost say. Like they're getting to
Yeah,
that ruck, they're getting the ball away. They're going to find the gaps because they're going to create them and manufacture them. But
yeah, I agree.
yeah, and the weather is going to be a huge factor. But realistically, a lot of these Italian boys are going to know how to deal with heat because obviously Italy gets very, very warm. Maybe not as humid, but they're going to be able to cope with that in a better way than, say, potentially like the England boys. I'd say that England would leak a few more, like maybe a try more than an Italy would, simply on the basis of they're not going to be as affected by the weather. But for me,
Fair enough.
and this is going to sound really noisy, the thing that I would be most excited for this game is the lineouts. The battle
Yes,
between,
yes.
yes, thank you. The battle between Andrea Zambanin and Warner Durns in the
Oh,
lineout is
come
going
on.
to be amazing. And the second rows out there, you'll love us for this because I'm genuinely watching Warner Durns for the Canes this year. Like the man's an animal. How he can just steal line-up ball like that is incredible. And Zambanin, again, is like
I
that
love
sort.
him,
I
but
love
I'm
it.
biased.
You're biased. I'm not biased. I love him. I think he's one of the most stereotypically Italian men I've ever seen play rugby. And he's also one of the like must be nauseous locks because he just goes and
Yeah,
catches. So Zambanin and Durns are going to have
so good.
a tectonic battle for the ages in that line out. It's going to be incredible. And I never thought, I mean, bearing in mind, when I used to play, I was a forward, but I wasn't a jumping forward, and I used to throw it when I played hooker. But ended rugby as a back row, and I didn't jump because I was a little seven. But that battle is just going to be amazing. I mean, to be fair, I even like a Dylan Riley and a Menoncello running each other, or like is going to
Yeah,
be great.
do not sleep on that either. Because again, and I think it's not their fault, it's more our fault. People hear Japan rugby and it's like immediately turned off. You're not interested. Oh, they did well at the World Cup when they hosted it.
Yeah,
There's some serious talent in that Japanese team. We just don't get to see it a lot because most of them are in Japan.
yeah. I think that's one of the things with rugby when there's like a slight language barrier as well. Because obviously, when
Yeah.
we consume Super Rugby, it's in English. When we consume the URC, it's in English. When we consume the Prem, it's in English. And that is what uh 7 or 8 rugby nations right there, straight off the bat. Probably
Yeah,
more
fair.
actually. No, that's about 10.
I actually need to take my time to apologise to Andrea Zambonin because when Exeter Chiefs first signed him, I messaged Harry being like, "Oh, what a waste! Like, why would we get a second row from Zebra of all teams?" Within like 5 games of him rocking up at Chiefs, I took it all back. He's
Mm-hmm.
absolutely sensational, and now I understand. He's very Rob Baxter-esque.
Oh yeah, he's that's the thing. Like, if slightly diverting, but like he's such a Rob Baxter signing in the sense that Rob Baxter has a pack of forwards that are they're not fancy, they're not beautiful, they're not pretty on the eye. Sorry, boys. They are just big, mean, brutal guys who are just going to maul you, brawl you, ruck you, and steal your line out ball and just get it done. And Zambanin is absolutely indicative of that. But
Oh
then,
yeah,
yeah, but it's
I mean,
definitely gonna be interesting because I think Italy are really growing under Casada. I think they've got
yeah,
so much better, and it's going to be interesting. In terms of a prediction of who's going to win, I find it really hard to call this, to be completely honest. I think that you could factor because the Japanese fans are also amazing. I have to give them credit. Every time you
yeah,
watch
yeah,
them,
passionate.
they
Yeah,
love they are so patriotic and they love that team. Um, I've got to say, I think I would favour Italy in this game. I think that Italy have got a little bit more firepower than the Japanese. I think their set piece in terms of their scrum. I know that Ferrari's not
yeah,
there,
yeah.
but I think that they've got a bit more in the scrum. I think that they won't be as affected by the weather as like another team would be, like an England or
Mm.
an Ireland or a Scotland or a Wales. I think they'd get the humidity would get to them and more mistakes would potentially creep in.
True. Yeah.
I think that they've got a bit more like out wide because even if you think about with Italy, you've got Louis Liner, you've got Ange Capozzo, you've got Matt Gallagher if he's there, you've got Paolo Dogwu, you've got Brex, you've got Menoncello. And again, we might be slightly biased because we know more of the Italian names, but I would give this win to Italy. I think that they would get. I think they're scoring 4 tries. I don't. I actually don't think Japan get anything out of this game. Actually, no. I think Japan could get a try bonus point, but other than that, I think Italy might win this like maybe by 11, maybe.
Right. Okay.
Especially if you
Uh,
got a Tommy Allen coming off the bench. If he's in the squad, I can't remember. If he's in the
yeah.
squad
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
kicking,
Mm, I've got Italy winning as well. I don't think they get the try bonus.
yeah, it's fair. Well, as in Italy
Italy,
or Japan,
neither. I think Italy,
that's also fair. Yeah,
Italy did well in the Six Nations with zero bonus points.
yeah. Then to be
They
fair,
just,
they're not afraid to goal kick. They are not
yeah,
afraid to just go
yeah. I was
conservative
gonna
and
say
hit goals.
they
Yeah, that's
will
so
happily
true.
just knock three all day.
Yeah, that is
Excuse
so
me.
fair.
And in the humidity, take a breather, get a water.
Yeah, it might not be the
Oh,
worst idea. Yeah, but
also,
we
for those listening and you've been watching the FIFA World Cup and you hate the hydration breaks, maybe don't watch Japan Italy because it's going to be sweaty and sticky and humid and there's going to be
well,
hydration breaks.
that's actually a hydration break, not a poor man's attempt to like get some advertising on. But anyway, we digress.
Well,
We digress.
money's
On
money.
money is money, and the game needs it. But anyway, now this next one's gonna be interesting.
Mm.
Australia versus Ireland in Sydney at Allianz Stadium.
Woo! Sold out as well.
Is it sold out? That's
It's
about a
sold out.
50,000 seat stadium, 60 maybe. It's a big one. It's not the biggest, but
I
it's
think it's
between
about
40
about
and
the same
60.
size. Yeah, about the same size as the Aviva, I believe, give or take.
Yeah, yeah.
I think. I don't know. Might be
Underrated
spitballing.
stadium, the Aviva, I will say. I did really enjoy it when I saw
Never
the
been.
Lions last year. It is fun.
Never been.
I can see why people don't like it when it gets corporate, but when you've got lots of Lions fans in there and then also a lot of Ireland fans, it's loud. Fields of Athenry is loud. But anyway, that's the Aviva. This is the Allianz Stadium, Sydney. Not to be confused with Allianz Stadium, Twickenham.
this is another issue I have. There's too many Allianz stadiums. I understand it's a branding deal. It's marketing. It's money. Change it. Keep the location in the name,
Yeah,
please.
Sydney
Don't
Allianz. Yeah,
Sydney Allianz
Allianz
or
Sydney.
Allianz
Yeah,
Twickenham. There's one in Turin, I think, where Juventus play. They play
that's
at the Allianz Arena. I'm
yeah,
sure
and
Bayern
then
Munich also play at the Allianz Arena. Stop calling it the Allianz Arena. Allianz Stadium, Allianz Park. Change the last bit at least.
the Allianz Hippodrome, something like that.
Stop calling it the Allianz Arena. It gets very confusing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But that's a different thing for a different day.
Oh yeah.
Australia, Ireland. It's interesting because smart bet would be Ireland. Australia's not been that great. They did all right, especially they did really well in that last test against the Lions last year. But
Fell off a
then,
cliff after though,
but the
realistically.
autumn was beyond
It
piss
was
poor.
it was woeful, really. Sorry to the Australian fans out there, but they were not good against England. But England were in their like proper pomp with all the players fit and a game plan that was just really working until it didn't. And then you think that Italy beat them, and then you think that uh, I don't think they played. Did they play Wales? I can't remember. But yeah, I think it was an 0 from
No,
4. And
yeah,
then yeah. Thing is, if we look historically, Australia Island games are always good. They're always
I
they're
remember for a while Ireland couldn't win down under. That was a
uh,
big thing for a long time. They've done it since, especially under Andy Farrell, but which has also got that interesting dynamic once again with Joe Schmidt and Andy
mm,
Farrell.
Master
They do,
Apprentice. Yeah,
They do love to just go at each other. I've noticed that since Sandy's went full head coach, they just seem to play against each other more. And it's almost like, look, Joe, look how good I am.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I look at Australia, and this is the thing that maybe a lot of Australian fans will be thinking as well. I look at them and think you have got a lot of talent. Like you think
Yeah.
like if you think even at Super Rugby, you've got a lot of great Reds players that are really talented. There's some good athletes. They're really skillful. And then you've also got in the Brumbies, you've got loads of the internationals. The Tars are a bit of a mess, but there's still talented players there. And then the Western Force like go through patches of like, oh, we're really great, or oh, we're really shit. But it's the question is as well, the two big ones for me, because I think the pack like relatively sorts itself out. I think like if James Slipper's available, if Angus Bell is there, if you've got like a Taniela Tupou and Alan Alatoa, a Zane Nongor in the forwards, you've got a couple of hookers, you've got like your lineup. Although actually that's another thing. Lucan Salakaia-Lotto, don't know how he's not in this team, but I
I love
remember
how
saying that.
second rows.
Yeah, it's very strange. But for me, the two biggest problems that they have: who is their 10? What the hell do
Mm.
you do with Suoliti?
I think the 10 thing's actually a quite passable theme to Ireland because that's been a debate for ever and a day as well of who actually is the
True,
10.
true. But if anything, Jack Crowley being injured and Sam Prendergast coming into form at the end of the season,
Oh,
and
yeah, it would
also how
turn that
much you look at him and how he's worked on defense and like his commitment and everything.
mm.
I would say that at the minute it's Sam Prendergast. Like he is going to be the 10 for Ireland, and I think at the minute by default of Frawley never plays, which is a joke and a half because he's amazing. Frawley never plays. Come on, Stu Lancaster at Connacht, give him all the time in the world because I know you will. And then all the Leinster fans will be like, "Why the hell did we not play this dude? What's going on, Leo? You really are losing your job now." No, he's not leaving. It's mutual consent. Um, but I would say by the grace of Harry Byrne is probably going to go and be on the bench. It's going to be Sam Prendergast's shirt. But for me, if I'm talking more on the Australia side, the thing that I find really confusing is they've got about four or five different tens. Like you think that you've got your Tom Liner, who I think has been injured, and everyone's like, oh, he's the
Mm.
10. But then you also think that James O'Connor's still kicking around, but they've not picked him because he's had a bit of an injury hit season. But then you think Carter Gordon is there. And Carter Gordon's great at aspects of playing 10. He's not a perfect 10. And then you think
Mm.
that you've got, in my view, the best 10 that they should pick is Ben Donaldson.
Yeah, that's fair.
Ben Donaldson has been the best, most consistent 10. He's a great goal kicker. He's an attack orientated 10. He wants to go flat to the line. He wants to play the balls out. He can manage a
Mhm.
game as well. Like he's by far the best 10. But and I think he's going to start just on the basis of a load of the other guys are injured. But then when you've also got like, oh, we're now going to try Declan Meredith. It's like, okay, he's like 26. He's never played any real international rugby. Like, okay, what are we going to do there? And then you think that um uh Tane Edmed, and then where's Noah Lolosio in all of this? Like I thought Noah Lolosio. So it's so confusing.
Yeah.
Like if people get annoyed with England in the debate of the 10 shirt, we got three. There's about six that I've named there that we've got no idea what they want to
Yeah.
do.
Huh?
And for me, and then Suoliti is a massive issue because it's like he doesn't really impact the game enough at 13. You're not going to play him 12 because he's wasted there. And you can't play him at fullback because then you can't pick Tom Wright, who is your best fullback. So,
Mm.
but do you pick him on the wing? But then Dylan Peach and Max Jorgensen have been unreal. So for me, if I was going to pick an Australian back line that I think would do
Yeah.
well,
Mhm.
you pick a Lonergan or a McDermott. I don't think it matters who starts. Ben Donaldson is at 10. I think
Mm.
that a Carter Gordon would do far better at 12 as a second distributor than he would at 10. You play Len Ikitau back in his natural position of 13, because he can play 12, but I think he's better at 13. And then you have Suoliti at on the wing, and then you've got a Jorgensen on the wing, because then you can play the kicking game and play to his strength. You can also get him in time and space on the ball. He doesn't have to defend in the midfield. Tom Wright's at fullback. And then, because you've got the two tens in Donaldson and Carter, you can then afford to have a Dalgunu as a utility back in a 22 shirt. And then you can have a Dylan Peach as a winger as well to come on as well. You've got so much flexibility in where everyone plays and a bit of structure. But the thing that I always have an issue with Joe Schmidt, and I have with his Australia teams for a year or two, and I'll link the Salakai Lotto thing. He's a terrible selector, in my opinion. I really struggle to see brilliant coach, genius, absolute master of his craft. I don't know why he doesn't pick certain players, because I think you said something about there's no second rows in the team.
Yeah, well, there is. Obviously, there is.
Yeah,
There's not like. But what I mean by that is there's no Solskjaer Otto, there's no Will Skelton, there's no Nick Frost. And that's your second rows. You
those are the
start
three
two of them,
best.
and you start
Yeah,
the yeah.
Nick Frost for
They've
the line out, Salakai, Will Skelton to start, empty the tank 50 minutes. Salakai Lotto comes on. That's
yeah.
horrible. Why I don't know. I don't know. I think Skelton's injured, but I don't know why Frost. I don't know if Frost is injured or not. But then with
I think
Lucan,
Frost and Skelton are
I don't get it. I really don't get it.
I will say was probably not helping Solskjaer Otto, and I think I did send it to you after the Walby squad came out. He put up the Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Like, oh shit, here we go again. I was like, that's not helping.
No, but at the same time as well, Joe Schmidt's going to be gone by the end of the year. Les Kiss is going to be in, who is his
Well,
Reds coach. So you would hope.
this is the weird bit as well because Joe Schmidt's only got these 3 games. Les,
Mm,
Les Kiss will be doing the Northern Hemisphere tour.
yeah, and watch Salakai Lotto come straight back in.
I'm going to up the ante on that. I think I've messaged you that.
Yeah,
Salkai is going to be the Wallabies captain, just out of pure.
yeah. I do feel like it's just one of those things where it feels like that Schmidt just has something that, because sometimes coaches don't fancy a player for
Yeah,
whatever reason, and maybe Schmidt just doesn't. But with all that being said, if I'm going to predict, because I feel like we've talked a lot about Australia and that, and
yeah, we've not even really spoke about Ireland, to be fair.
but I think that's indicative of how messy Australia feel. So that is why, even though
Sure.
they're missing Caelan Doris, which is a big shame, and Tommy
As
O'Brien,
I really feel sorry for Kellen Doris because he was
yeah,
meant to be the Lion. He was heavily tipped to be the Lions captain last year. Didn't even go on tour because of injury. Was easily going to be the Ireland captain because that is his role.
yeah,
And then URC final comes off and he's injured. So that's
yeah.
another summer missed out. And I'm like,
It's a massive, massive shame. But I think that if you think about with all of the players that Ireland are taking, and you think like you've still got your Dan Sheehan as captain, you've still got your Ty Furlong, you've got like the Ward brothers coming in as like replacements, you've got Robert Balakoon who had an exceptional Six Nations and a great season for Ulster. I think Stu McCloskey's there. You've got like I don't think Postlethwaite is there because I think he's injured, but like there's so much talent in that Ireland squad, and they are slowly bringing in new players. They're doing it in the very like
they kind of have to.
yeah, they kind of have to. But because Ireland feel a lot more settled than in
Yeah, you
Australia,
gotta.
I'm
Yeah,
I'm gonna say I think Ireland win this. I think it's a great game regardless, but I think Ireland win this game. But I think it's a fairly comfortable 5 point. I don't think Australia get anything out of it. I think it will be tight relatively, but I think there'll just be a couple of gaps, and Ireland they'll open it up, and I think that
yeah.
they'll get a 5 points, and I don't think Australia's going to get anything, to be completely honest.
I'd like all the games to be tight, but that's not the world we live
No.
in. I am going Ireland. I've got Ireland by about 12.
Yeah, I could see
Like,
it by 12.
I think if I think this might be one of the from the bigger games anyway. This might be the comfier margin. I'd say. I'd like to think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it
Well,
might be.
before we move on to the next game, we need a head-to-head. There's one that's screaming out to me, but I don't, and it's going to be mouth-watering, and we kind of got a teaser of it back in April. Lenny Katow versus the Irish Fridge of Stuart McCloskey.
Yeah, that could be. That could definitely be cool. That wasn't my first guess, but yeah,
Oh, okay. Well, I'm intrigued now. Where were you going?
I actually have no idea.
I
I think just seeing like the spray between potentially like a Harry Wilson and a Jack Conan, I think that could be
Oh,
like
revitalized from last year.
you could just see Harry Wilson say something and Jack Conan with that huge slug on his face, like he just looks like a dad, so he'll just get the finger out like, "What are you doing, son? Like, what are you doing?" Like go full like, dad's army on him or something.
I mean, there's going to be a lot of rivalries reignited just from the Lions last year. A
Oh
lot of
yeah,
those Irish boys
absolutely, yeah,
were there, so that's going to be tasty. I mean,
definitely.
I would like to see Sean Jansen, but I don't think this is a game to unleash Jansen for Ireland.
Yeah. Feels like a different game for that.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway, moving on. This game is going to be crazy. Fiji
Is it?
Wales.
Is it going to be crazy?
I would say crazy in the sense of like I've got no idea what's going to happen. So I'm envisioning just there's two ways that I'm looking at it. Like we've looked at this Fiji team a lot and we've just gone, "Oh my your man." Like
The backline's ridiculous.
it's just like literally to name a backline right now, you're going to go with Lamania Kurivoli. You've got Caleb Muntz. You've got Tuisova. You've got Radrandra, Makala, like as your centers probably Ravuvu, Wainagolo, Ryasi, and like it is a joke how Armstrong Ravula as well. Like, and that's who I think will actually play. But like, it is an utter joke to see the level and dedication and the passion and the power that that backline has. And even in the
Oh yeah.
forward pack, like you think that you've got like Timo Minor Vanua, who is just like he was a brilliant player for Saints. Like, ironically, Saints have had like this is going off like Lukan Sayakalalotto was there, then Maya
Yeah.
Vanua replaced Salakalalotto, and now JJ Van der Mesch is replaced. It's like they've gone, okay,
Big
here's
boys
big, here's
everywhere.
bigger, here's
Yeah.
bigger. So it's
Yeah.
just hilarious. But yeah, but Maya Vanua, I mean, Ikanavari, I think is unbelievable. He's such a good captain. He's such a good hooker.
Good
Like you
boy.
think you've got Tim Hoyt, yeah, Tim Hoyt from coming out of a great season for Worcester, going to Leon off the back of it.
What a move that
Like,
is.
also, I managed to see Tim Hoyt a couple of times watching the champ. Oh, he broke my heart when he beat Chinner. It was just no, please no, no, the Fijian Slayer. But yeah, like brilliant player. Like I think you've still got guys like Doge in there, Ironi Maui, Tagi Tagivalu. I think is still in. Lavani Bottia is still going. Like,
He'll go to the wheels fall off. I'm telling
yeah,
you
he
that now.
will. I think I don't know if Albert Tuisui is there, but if Albert Tuisui is there, that's also really bloody scary. Like,
I'm more gutted that Nathan Hughes isn't there.
yeah, I think, and Vakatawa, to be honest, I think
Yeah.
I have a feeling that they might get back into that squad in the November. I have a feeling, but yeah, that Fiji team is unreal. And then,
But
but
around the
You look at Wales, and you're like, they're a lot better than they have been. Like you think you've got Dan Edwards and Sam Costello there. You've got a bunch of new players that you're going to try. Like for me, I'd be very excited to see Bryn Bradley. I mean,
yep.
as a head to head, just from a sheer size perspective, Tuisova and Bryn Bradley running at each other. That's
Oh,
that's that that's ridiculous. Like Bryn Bradley's a big lad. He's about 110 kilo, 6'4". Tuisova's probably about 110 kilo and about maybe 6'5", 11". But like the hits that those two would put on each other, even Eddie James, like
Yeah, James can bang. Yeah.
like the Wales boys have got some big lads in the back, and if you really want to go like, oh, let's go like power for power, let's play a Bryn Bradley, an Eddie James, a Max Llewellyn, and a Mason Grady against that Fiji backline as well. Like if you just go, let's just go for pure size and power and like Matt. But anyway, but Wales team, they're all right, like Jack Morgan, Dowie Lake, Teddy
I,
Williams back fit. Ben Carter's come off a very good season.
mm,
You've got
I,
guys
I
like
know.
Dylan Lewis back.
I already know what my head-to-head is, and it's not the conventional one that you would think of when it comes to Fiji. I
It's not.
want it's a Canterbury versus Dowie Lake.
I
That's
was
going to be
about to
nuts.
say, is it a Canaveri versus Dowie Lake? Or is it
Yeah.
Jack Morgan versus Lavani Bottia?
I mean, take your pick, either
I
or.
mean,
It's a
either
heart.
or. Like the turnovers from those, the jackling from those two.
I
Like
mean,
not even the Fijian flair, the jackling between
if you
Morgan.
want to go fancy, you can go Lewis Summit versus Celeste Rayasi.
I'd put
Want
him
it?
against Wynagolo personally, but like, oh, Wynagolo's going
I
to
was,
score a banger. You just
I
know
was
he
think, I was
is.
thinking, Wynacolo versus maybe like Blair Murray or something. I don't know.
Ellis Me potentially.
Not
But
Josh Adams. Just make that clear. Not Josh Adams.
no, I don't think he'll play. I don't think Josh Adams will play. I think he'll be a water boy. Obviously
Mm,
it's meant to be a Fiji home game, but it is at the Cardiff City Stadium. But
it is a home
hopefully,
game.
it is a home game for them. It's kind of
Yeah,
like a bit
well,
different. It's not the official Wales stadium, but hopefully, on the news that we did hear this week, that Fiji are getting a proper stadium built.
yeah.
So hopefully, by the time of the next iteration of this championship, they will be able
Mhm.
to host there. Because you would think that's probably about what is it? So next year's World Cup, maybe 2 years they've got to build it. Probably a lot of the money that they're going to be getting for this tournament is going to go into that. It's going to build. Hopefully, they'll get their stadium next time. But I,
I mean,
if I look at Wales
Scotland played them
now,
similar, so
yeah, they did. But Scotland are a lot more generous than in England. England, like that's not enough money for us. We can't do that. Because we play business class for all these lads to go on British Airways. We need to fund this partnership. We can't be going to some tiny
yeah,
stadium in Suva, which would have been amazing. It would have been,
yeah,
but
we'd came out with yeah, cool. We'll do. We'll even teach the kids how to play like rugby lessons for the week. It was great. We just proper embraced the culture. It was awesome. Anyway, sorry, you were saying about Wales.
yes, they looked all right against the Barbars. I do think that George North was a massive factor in how they got the game as tight as they did in the end, 33-31. But there's a couple of mistakes that Wales, there, a lot of drop ball. But to be fair, it's not going to be as hot as it was last week. It's
What do you mean? It's a Fiji home game. It's going to be nuts in Wales.
yeah. I see. Because even like if you think like with your Caleb Muntz, like Fiji have got a proper game manager there and the goal kicker. So but he understands Fiji, so he's gonna
Yeah,
like they're gonna ball out and score some batshit crazy ridiculous tries. But do Wales have enough to hang in the game? I think they do.
I think they do. I think they
This
showed that.
this is a really close one for me. I'm not sure what. Oh
I hate the fact that we were talking about a Fiji game who's like everyone's favorite second team, yet there's so much controversy regarding the coaching standpoint.
oh, the Mick Burns thing. Yeah, it's a bit
Messy.
strange. It is messy. We don't need to go into too much detail, but
No, there's not.
obviously,
We don't need a deep dive on it. It's just very strange to see like
they wanted to make a coaching change and then using an illness that wasn't really an illness to try and get someone else in, and yeah, it's a bit messy. I don't know if that could affect the players a bit because apparently a lot of the lads love Mick Byrne, so could that
yeah,
be a factor? Maybe, but
it might be like
if I
stability in the group, isn't it? Because like Tandy's da, da, da. Tandy has steered that ship. Like he
yeah,
has stabilized that ship
he's
as
done an
well.
unbelievable job, I will say. Like to make
But
Wales
people will say,
competitive,
"Oh look at the results." Yeah, but Wales were in tatters when he took the job.
he's made them
So,
competitive, and that's all you
yeah,
want. They've won two games back to back. Like that's all you can
hey,
ask.
there we go.
Exactly. Like, when's the last time you could say that about a Wales team? 2021? I don't know.
Been a
But
while. Sadly, but it has no World Cup 23. They did
oh
they
yeah,
did
no,
well.
they were right. Yeah, that actually gets undersold that they were all right. Although to be fair, it was a last dance for so many guys.
Yeah, they went out on a
Well, some of
song.
them did. Well, some of them didn't even go. But oh, I think
I've got Wales by 4. It's gonna be tight and it's gonna be ugly. It
I'm
might finish ugly.
I'm very sorry to my Welsh in-laws. I do actually have Fiji winning.
Oh, I mean,
But
don't get me wrong.
I
No.
think Wales will get. I think Wales will get 2 points out of the game. I think it's going to be one of them. I think it's going to be like a 33-31 Fiji, and then Wales will get 31. That's what I think. I think that there will be tries. I think that there will be a good battle at the set piece. But I think that Fiji are going to edge it, get the 5 points. Wales will get two.
I just have this it's not even a fear. I just have this horrible feeling that it's going to be tight and Fiji's going to do something stupid and get a yellow card or a 20-minute red, and then it's just going to open the game up. Because
Yeah,
it just seems to be what Fiji do. They hold on or they play some beautiful rugby for so long and then they just go, no.
but then also they do sometimes have referees do have. I'm not saying that they're biased against them. I think that referees have a slight unconscious bias when they deal with Polynesian players or Maori. I think, and South African to an extent. I will give them that. I think sometimes in the back of the head they're like, if it's a 50-50, they might factor in. So yeah, hopefully it doesn't come to a TMO decision, but yeah,
Fingers crossed. But I'll still give Wales the tight victory
yeah.
just because it's in Cardiff.
I still think Fiji might do it. But anyway, moving on to the next game. South Africa, England.
Why did your heart sink when you said that?
Because I don't know how I feel about this game.
If it helps, the Springbok team is already out. Yes, Rassie Erasmus put the team out on a Monday.
Yeah.
My God, man. And it is full noise,
He
to be fair.
basically
Like,
said he basically said, "Let's go, Steve. Let's see what you want to do." I was half expecting England to name the team like an hour later at like whatever time. I think it was at like 12 or something that it got announced. But I now think that Borthwick is going to wait until like Thursday to announce it as like he's going to try and play a mind game with Rassie, which I don't know if Rassie would fall for, but I think of all the people that Rassie would fall for a mind game for, might be England more than New Zealand, but that might be wishful thinking on my behalf. Yeah, you're right.
yeah.
It's a very full noise team. If I sort of go into semi detail about how I think the game could go, scrum wise, first half, England will be fine. You got Joe Hayes, you got Jamie George, you got Ellis Genge. I think that you will be. Oh, I think England will be okay. Second half, when you've got the less experienced guys in maybe Asher Apoku for sure or Beno Urbano, both good scrummagers, and Luke Cowan-Dickie, which this I'm essentially predicting the team. That's
Hmm.
where I get a bit more worried. But at the same time, because it's Zachary Porthan on the bench, I'm like, could you have a go at him? Could someone proper get at him? But then I'm
Yeah,
also
'cause
thinking
he
that,
is younger. So.
yeah, but I also think that our most aggressive scrummager on the loose head side is Genge, and he probably won't have that many battles against Porthan unless he's going to stay on the whole. This is where I really wish that Finn Baxter was fit. As a Quins
Hmm.
fan, I've wanted that for most of the year. But I'd be like, but he'd probably put Porthan on toast, to be completely honest. Sorry, South Africans. I love Finn Baxter. Don't you diss my baby-faced assassin. Um, but altitude as well. Altitude at Ellis Park. It's gonna be hard. It is a lot of players like you hear say it's one of the hardest places to go in rugby and fight and try and play. But on the flip side, the ticket sales are
Yeah,
horrendous.
it's going to be empty. 21,000 tickets been
Yeah,
sold.
yeah, I don't know what it is because Ellis Park is historic.
Just for
Like,
context. Just for context, you said that one New Zealand stadium was too small.
yeah,
I'm
I
just
did,
saying.
I did, I did, I did. You're completely right. I did. But
There is
I,
one big
I, I
factor
also,
that.
oh, yeah, it's just I. For me, if I'm going to quickly just put this out there, where this game will be won and lost for England, I don't think is in the scrum. I don't think it's in the line out. I don't think it's in the breakdown. I don't even think it's on the kicking restarts because I think that both teams have, like, to an extent, are great with that. It's the battle of the midfield for me. That's the thing that I just look at
Mm,
and go, I don't know how England are going to win that. Because if you've got the three centres of Dale Ende, Esterhazen, and Creel, Dale Ende and Esterhazen are huge. They are massive.
yeah.
And Creel is the experienced campaigner that he is, freak athlete. Like, and I just look at it and go, I don't have a clue who England are going to pick in that midfield. I have a worry that it's going to be an Atkinson and a Freeman because they'll try and compete on the size power and they'll rely on a Furbank to do a lot more of the distributing. And then Manny and Caden will just be chasing kicks left, right, and centre. But then
Mm.
do you negate all of Tommy Freeman's ability by playing him at 13 and not on the wing? And can he deal with that defence? Because again, I worry about Max Ojomo's tackling one on one because I think defensively he's sound. He can do everything, but sometimes it doesn't look like he's got that full commitment. And I'm not questioning his desire
Yeah.
because I know that he loves playing rugby, but it just doesn't look like his one on one tackling is the best. And is Atkinson really going to win the man test between an Esterhazy and a Dale Ende? I don't know. So for me, that midfield battle is key. I don't think as yeah, South Africans, you can have a go at me because I'm saying that I don't think you will dominate us, but I think we can cope in the scrum. I think we can cope in the line out. I think we can cope at the breakdown. I don't think they can really outmuscle us. It's just that midfield battle that I'm like, I don't know. What do you think? Am I being overly scared, or are you
No,
about
no.
to?
See, I get really weird, right? And people think it's cocky or arrogant. I don't think it is. Like I live and die on a whole like back your team, and what I mean is, I'm not saying you're gonna. I'm not sitting here saying my team's gonna win every single game. It's not what it is. It's basically in that moment you're going to get the win, regardless of history, regardless of winning form or whatever. You'll find a way to win. That's what I mean by back your team.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, absolutely.
Um, it's just fun when I predict my team to win every week. Then, how do you think you're going to? Just because I do.
Yeah,
Because
why
I'm
would
not.
I not back my team?
Exactly. I'm not watching a game where I think we're going to lose. Quite simple.
Yeah, I've definitely had that with Quins this year.
Um,
I have deliberately not gone and watched games that I have missed, and I've seen that we've been absolutely blown out of the park, and I'm like, yeah, I don't really fancy watching that. Bad
I
fan, I
agree with
know, but
I do agree with you on the midfield thing because and it doesn't help that England don't have a midfield pairing where you're like, yep, that's our lads.
well,
It changes all the time.
it's just so indicative of the Lancaster era where we just did not know who the midfield partnership
Yeah.
was.
And it was just continued on through Borthwick.
It yeah,
But,
it well, Eddie had his partners. You always knew that it was going to be Farrell, Tuolangi, at one point Teo, Jonathan Joseph, Henry Slade. Like you knew, and then Elliot Daly would sometimes fill in as well. You knew it was going to be
yeah.
those 5, 6 lads in some configuration, but you also knew that the structure was there. The problem that I've got as well is that if you think back to the November, our midfield partnership was Fraser Dingwall, Ollie Lawrence, and it was great.
Yeah. Mhm.
But then Fraser Dingwall's lost his place in Northampton, and Ollie Lawrence has had a season to forget. Really, like he's his Achilles injury and his knee injuries. He's just he. If anything, the reason why he's not gone in the summer is because he is out of form, but he just needs a rest. Like he just needs to get fit, and that's his problem.
Mhm.
But and I, as much as I have been not a fan of Jancy van Rensburg being selected for England, I can't help but think that having him in this game could have done us the world of good. Just from the basis of if you want a centre who's going to be able to physically match up to an Esterhazen and a Dale Ende, he probably could. It's not to say that Seb Atkinson isn't going to try,
No,
but there's a
I know what you're
huge
saying.
weight disparity there. And also, it's does Henry Slade play?
I mean, I'd say yeah, but I'm very biased because he is Mr. Exeter Chiefs.
He is, but he just doesn't
I
seem to bring that to England. It's the
it's
same
the
with
same
like
with
the Ben
yeah.
Spencer at 9. He just doesn't, and like Matt Dawson was talking about it, he just hasn't seen it. And I'm like, I agree with you. Like, there's just something there that you're like, you're great, but something's missing, and that's
Yeah.
why coaches are coaches because they find a way to deal with that. But yeah, it's hard because
There is
it's at
one.
altitude. It's 21,000 people. I don't know how to do it. But what's the one thing that you think that you
I think what that England could win on
yeah.
or the discipline. It would sounds daft because your discipline in the Six Nations was crap.
Yeah, it wasn't
I
great.
think it's almost like you're going to have to try and purposely get under their skin, but get away with it.
This is the Pollock factor. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is the thing that I can't believe we've taken this long to sort of think about. For me, if
If Pollock can rub people the wrong way like he did in the semi final and the final, but do his job and
oh
be
yeah,
fucking fantastic at it, it could be
you
a one. And I'm not saying that Henry Pollock's the be all and end all. He's
no,
not. You can get anyone that can do it.
but he's a
But
difference maker. That's the thing that he does everything. He's an amazing athlete. He does everything really well, but then he's got a point of difference, which is the thing that you want every player to have. His point of difference is just I'm not saying his only point of difference is getting under people's skin because that's ridiculously derivative, but he
but on the flip side, if he comes out like what he did in the Tigers game, not the semi final, but during the regular season, where
oh
he
if
was
he
just
yeah
being a complete tosspot and just trying to rub people the wrong way to the point Ollie Chesson pulled him aside at full time and went, "What are you doing?"
yeah
If he does that, the Springboks will eat him.
yeah they
If
will.
he tries to rub Eben Etzebeth the wrong way, it's going to be a long day.
But that's the thing as well that I think that Rassi is a clever man. He will say to the because all of the thing in the media about the South African people saying that they'd love to kill him because I think to them Henry Pollock is indicative of what English rugby is: big, brash, arrogant, but ultimately not as good as they think they are. That's what I think the interpretation is. I don't agree with that necessarily, but that's what I think the interpretation is. Um, I think the key thing in this with what Rassi will say about Pollock is do not bite. Kill him
Yeah,
legally, absolutely. But I think that the referee will be aware of two things surrounding Mr. Henri Pollock. On the one side, if he sees any of the South Africans leaving anything in on him and doing anything to him, he will that will be in the back of his mind. So they've got to be squeaky clean when they deal with him. But on the flip side, he's also going to know that Henry Pollock is a bit of a shithouse. So he's going to have to like watch and go, is he's going to be literally scratching his head of like, oh, okay, I've got to balance this properly. So I think if the Boks play it properly, they're almost going to leave him alone, but in the way that they're not going to be leaving extra on him, or one of them might leave extra on him. Because if you don't think that a referee is going to be thinking, right, the last time that an annoying flanker and pissed off Eben Etzebeth, he gouged him. You don't think that Etzebeth would love to try and I'm not saying he's going to. You don't think that he would love to try and hurt Pollock in a way of like, I want to injure him so he is not can't play in this game, but not so much that he's like crippled for life. It's definitely going to be a factor. But if I have to put a score prediction, I will think I have to back England, but I think it's going to be tight as balls, and we win by like 1 or 2 points. That will be like because also winning in South Africa is nearly impossible. It's been done like 3 times in 10 years, and I think the last time we did it was 2018. But I'm going to say England can win this if everything goes their way. If Manny Libok misses his kicks, because obviously he's the one kicking, but actually Chaz and Colby will probably kick, so might even get that factor. I'm going to say that England can win this by 1 or 2 points, three at the max, because it'll be like a Finn Smith drop goal or a Marcus Smith drop goal in the last minute at altitude. And we're like, oh my God, this is cinema. But that will be how we win it.
Okay. I've got South Africa by 8.
Yeah, that's fun. Do you think England can get 4 tries?
No, I think this is going to be purely kicking. You use the
Ah,
altitude to
okay.
your advantage. I don't think South Africa's going to get 4 either.
Okay, so it's going to be a tight, horrible game. Yeah, I
It's going to
can.
be proper horrible. It's almost going to bring you down. Like you're going to be watching the Fiji Wales game and be like, "Oh my God, that was nuts!"
Absolute cinema.
And then this one's going to it's just
Absolute shite.
everyone just calm down a bit. Let's just one for the purists, as they'll call it.
One for the purists. But anyway,
Scrum and more scrum. And if you think that's not enough, here's some more scrum.
I don't mind that. Seeing Joe Hayes and Oxenche.
Fuck that. I don't mind some. No,
Not
no.
20. But anyway, going from a game that we think is going to be really like horrible and set piece and grindy and ugh, let's go to some Latin flair and some haggis bombs in
Potential.
Scotland, Argentina, in Cordoba, which apparently is one of the most humid, horrible, hot stadiums to play in
Yes.
ever.
Yay. Love it.
So I really hope that Gregor Brown has packed his sun cream because that poor ginger might get burnt off, burnt off the park. But anyway, Argentina, Scotland. God, take the lead. Describe to me what's going to happen?
We're out for revenge. That's the key point. We cannot let
Yes,
happen. After that, I don't even know how to describe. I was there when that happened. You
shambolic, disgraceful,
get your
disgusting,
bottle
imbecilic
job. Yeah.
bottle job. I was getting there, but I just wanted to say all the other big words
No,
first.
I was there, and I'm messaging Harry at halftime like, "That's in Scotland by 5. This is light work at this point." And then we shot the bed, and they
Oh,
scored like five tries in like 12 minutes, and I'm like,
that was
"What?"
absolute cinema. That game, I will say, it
No, it
was.
wasn't.
Well, in terms of like a cinematic masterpiece, it was like, oh, that was amazing. Just as a neutral, like I'd
From a
say,
neutral point, yeah, I
hey,
could
I'm English.
imagine.
I
But
shouldn't like Argentina or Scotland. I watched that game and I was like, what the?
that's that's fair actually.
Like,
But
if
no,
anything, I should hate both teams equally. I
I
don't.
think I reckon just fix the mistakes. The big issue from that defeat last autumn was we did not use the bench properly. I don't even think we
No.
used the entirety of the bench, which is why, if you follow me on TikTok and Instagram, I did my predicted team. I've almost like reverse psychology. Like you have to use the bench because of who's on the bench.
Hmm.
And I refer to it as the haggis bomb. Some people have called it the tartan bomb. Whatever you want. I think you need like Schumann, Ashman, Fagerson, Cummings, Dempsey, Darge, all coming off the bench.
You
Which
you would you
sounds
do what
ballsy.
you would do that for this game?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm not sure if I would do that for this game, but I don't really know. I can't overly
I think I
remember the
did it
Scotland
more.
squad.
I think I was doing it more on the fact of how poor we used the bench last autumn. So I'm like, cool. If you load it, you have to use it.
Hmm.
It's not a 15-man game anymore. It is quite clearly a 23-man game, and I
It
think
is absolutely a
Scotland's
23-man game. You are
that's
right.
what Scotland's biggest issue is. Um, I think we can take them. Truly.
Yeah, I think you can.
I think attacking wise, I think we're like second to none. Genuinely. Like look, and my example is look what we did to France. Yes, they did pull it back, but we put 50 on France when they were cruising for a Grand Slam.
Yeah, you did. I
Actually, we stopped 2 Grand Slam dreams in the Six Nations. Everyone thought England was going to win it, and then you came to Murrayfield
no,
and realised you're not being Scotland. It's
no
just
Scotland, no party.
no Scotland, no party. Um,
Gregor Townsend's Big Blue
Iron Army.
Army.
Iron Army, yeah.
Yeah.
And then France, who whitewashed pretty much everyone at that point, came to Murrayfield, and then we put 50 on them, and everyone's like, "Pardon?" I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah. And then
if you
England put 40 on them.
Ironically, Scotland play better in the heat. I don't know how this is a thing.
Dry ball.
I don't get it though. We're not a hot country. We're not a dry
Yeah.
country. So
No.
how do we play better in the heat?
Yeah, it's a strange one. I do think that one thing that's helped the Scottish boys is obviously yes, the travel element of the URC going to South Africa is annoying, but that
Or are you
might
stressed?
mean that it might mean that some of the lads are now more conditioned or can deal with that better because they're doing it more consistently. So obviously
Yeah.
you've got to do it like 2 times a year, is it 3 or 4?
So Glasgow would do it. So the way the URC do it is you effectively do it once in the regular season. You go to South Africa for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You play two away games and then you come home. But I mean, look at Glasgow's a few years ago where they went to South Africa on a week's notice.
Yeah, it's
You
very
know what
true.
I mean?
I see this game is going to be interesting simply because I think that it is going to be a game of attack. Both teams are going to be throwing the ball around. Both teams are going to be like I don't think it's necessarily going to be like a set piece battle. Not to say
No.
that it couldn't be, because Scotland and Argentina both have good set piece, but it is going to be
Mm, mm.
well, well, maybe Argentina have a good set piece. Like, I think about some of the scrummages that they have, like Sclavi, Delgado.
That's just the bit that annoys me with Scotland, though. Looking at who we have, we should have a solid set piece. And yet we just don't. For some reason, I don't know what it is.
Is it your
Because
set piece or is it your line out or is it your
both,
scrum?
both.
It is both. Okay, I thought you had a decent line out, but I might be
Sometimes,
misremembering.
sometimes if our lineout's great, our scrum's shit. Sometimes if the scrum's great, the lineout's shit. Sometimes nothing works.
I will say on that, and this is not to dig out Xander Fagerson because I think he's a phenomenal player. When he starts back chatting,
Good, yeah.
I think referees like, especially if like I don't know who's refereeing, but for example, let's say Xander Fagerson is going against like a Boris Wenger or a Mako Vivas on the loosehead side because I think Gazzo's injured. If he starts
Yeah.
losing, if you've got a Matt Carley as the referee, and
Oh yeah, my colleagues have none of
oh
that.
Matt Carley is like straight away like, no, Xander, you're talking back to me again. Go away. I'm not speaking to you
Yep.
again.
Hmm.
Stop it. He's straight
Yep.
away. He's immediately in the bad books, and every 50-50 is going to go against him because he's a bit too fond of the back chat. And this is not to dig him out. This is me basing my opinion on every time I've watched him. He always has something to say, and also a lot of his former teammates and players also critique him for that. So that's the thing. But Argentina are one of those teams that, for all of the fact that they love to play with the ball, they're not afraid to go a bit conservative. A bit like Italy
No,
in
no,
some
no.
in Italy, like in Italy in some ways, they're not afraid to kick a goal. The thing that I would actually love to see, and it's like a completely side part to the game. I would love to see Santi Carreras and Finn Russell both hit drop goals, just because of that
Stanley especially was like,
semi-final.
aha!
Like, see, I can do it. I can do it. Or like, I'd love to see. I'd love to see him. I'd love to see that just from oh, they both hit a drop goal, but neither one are really well, Santi Carreras is not known for drop goals at all, and Finn, I think, has only scored one in his professional career, maybe
There's a bit
two.
more than I think there's a bit more than one, but it's definitely not like he's scored George Ford numbers because no one does a drop goal like George Ford.
Marcus Smith has quite a few now as well, if you think for Quins and England. Like, obviously,
Mm.
Marcus Smith's most famous one is the Ireland one, where we should have gone for the try, but the drop goal celebrations were just amazing. But that's another
I think
point.
a big thing to look at for Scotland, not just for this Argentina game, for this whole summer, is who plays in 13 because there's no Hugh Jones.
Mm.
You've got Stafford McDowell that has been really putting in the graft at Glasgow, really making that jersey his own. But then you've also got Rory Hutchinson, who is more a 12, but is very comfortable in the 13.
It's funny how you say that he's a 12. I think it's just because with Saints, they like having a ball player closer to the 10. Because
Mm.
I think the way that a lot of teams, especially, attack now is that, and I think England like to do this as well, which is why they might be favouring a Seb Atkinson. They like having a ball player at 12 who can go to first receiver is perfectly comfortable taking the ball into contact or putting it out the back for a 10 to loop round. And
Yeah.
so that's why I think Rory Hutchinson plays a lot more at 12. So he's closer to Finn Smith. He can ball play. And then you have like a Litchfield or someone else or a Fraser Dingwall in the 13 channel, then hitting a line outside. So if anything, if you were going to play to a Hutch's strength with Finn, you would, if you're going to do that same sort of like loop round, have the 12 be the first receiver and then have the 10 loop round. It would make more sense if you were going to play Hutch to play in 12 and Sione 13 and then have Sione carrying like slightly out wider. But
I mean, that works. That works as well. Swindon is
but
very underrated at 13,
but
but at
yeah,
12 he can do that.
but he
Sione
can
does
do
this
that.
really weird thing that not many other 12s do at his size anyway. Because Sione
Mm,
can bang, which we all know he can bang. But he can
yeah.
also do this weird like no look pass and like loop round. He's got a very underrated kicking game, like his grubber kicks.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Especially on like when is that a blitz fit like when they come up square and
Hammer, like a hammer defense, yeah, or a
yeah,
rush
and Sione just
defense.
drops it through. Not guaranteed a try, but it's guaranteed to just oh there you go, Hutch.
I think depending on who plays 13, I think you have to try and find the player who best complements the skill set of Sione whilst emulating Hugh Jones to a certain extent. So that's really hard to pick. I personally think because Stafford McDowell and Sione have played so well together this year, I think Gregor will stick with that. I think Hutch might be on the bench because Hutch can also play 10, 12. I think he can play 15.
He actually played against. He actually played 15 against Argentina when we toured them. So
There we go. So I think both will be involved. I just think that it might be. I think Stafford is going to start because also if you think about the Argentina midfield, you got Chocobares and then I don't
Cincy.
actually know who's fit. I don't think Cincy's fit. I'm not sure who play actually. Mateus Moroni maybe if he's still going.
Maroney's such a weird one.
Yeah. He's one of those campaign. They've got a few of those campaigners in the Argentina squad now. You think Guido Petty's nearly on 100 caps. Think he's one or two off. Matteo Salamano, he's only one or two off. And then you got
Yeah.
Montoya. You've got Moroni's nearly got 100 as well. Like Argentina, a bit like England. They had like maybe one centurion or no centurions, and now all of a sudden they've got about eight,
Yeah.
which is kind of what happened with England. We had Jason Leonard for the longest time, and then all of a sudden, oh, Youngsy, Farrell, Laws, Cole, um, who was the other one? George and Law. I said Laws, but like, then we had Care. We had like 7 or 8 just pop out in like 4 or 5 years, and then Marla nearly got it as well. So it's a bit like, oh shit, we now got loads of Centurions. We used to have none.
It is weird. Like people are like, are Scotland underestimating Argentina? No, I don't know where that's come from. I
You
generally
can't, and you can't anymore. Like you genuinely can't. It's like Italy. You can't under. And that's not to
I
say
don't
that
think
Argentina and Italy are the same level. It's not. It's a bit like if you look at in this competition, like in terms of like rugby heritage and blah blah blah. You look at a Japan and Italy and Argentina, and they're not really like rugby nations, so to speak. They're like their football or their other stuff. And in the past, you'd be like, oh yeah, they're all right, but like we've got them. I don't think you can't do that with Italy anymore, not after they've now beaten everyone in the Six Nations. You can't really do that with Argentina anymore because now they are consistently beating Australia, South Africa, New Zealand, and then they're getting stuff on Scotland. Japan, I think they've plateaued a bit, but that's just beside the point. And then no one really underrates Fiji anymore because you know that they can also absolutely screw you up. But
hmm.
I
I think that's actually the joy of this tournament.
yeah, I
You
think
can't,
it that
you
makes it
can't just be
makes
like,
it as
oh,
open,
it almost gives you the instinct to go like, might have to go full noise every week.
which is bad for player welfare and the amount of travel that the
It is, but it's also
I will say this tournament in the November really does favour the northern hemisphere, the southern hemisphere guys because Do you think that England have got to go all the way down to Joburg, or they are there now and they've been there for like a week and a bit? They've
I
got to
will
go
say,
all the way back up to Liverpool and then they've got to go down to Argentina. That's a lot of travel time.
I will say, you have been shafted with the way it's done. So like
Yeah,
Scotland's in Argentina. We fly over to South Africa next week. Then we're at home. Wales start at home and then they're away. England
yeah,
are away, home, away. So you have to like
yeah.
constant, and I'm like Jesus.
If
But
anything, that might also be why Fiji didn't get the home games because they've not got a big enough stadium and also having to go. If England had to go, South Africa, Fiji,
yeah,
Argentina, that's awful. But anyway, it's the first iteration of the tournament. They'll probably figure out scheduling anyway. But getting back to this Scotland Argentina, I think Scotland can win this absolutely, but I also think that Argentina can win this. So
I actually think this is like people
it,
think I'm stupid when I say this. This might be the most underrated rivalry. These two teams do not get on at
yeah,
all.
and it's just where does it come from?
I don't. I think I don't know where it came from originally, but I don't think Julian Montoya asking Duhan, "Do you want me to say it in Afrikaans?" helped.
No,
I don't think that helped anyone's case. But
no,
there's always been a bit of nitty gritty and like if you look at
especially in the last 5 years, like every
five,
time
six
they've
years,
played, there's
yeah,
been a bit like even in the tour where Finn was on the Lions, but in 21, like there was a lot of niggle in those games as well, from what I
yeah.
remember. And that's about five.
We don't like them. They don't like us. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, you'd think that Buffelli would have like made it a bit calmer.
Made
Like,
made the
no,
bed.
no,
It's
guys,
okay,
no,
but
please, no, no fight, stop it.
and then it's just nope. All right,
Like,
okay.
no, we're scrapping. Like, okay, all right,
I
fine.
mean, what was it? 22 when
Oh yeah,
every
that was
that was the
yeah,
Montoya one, but
that was the
everyone
Montoya one.
was getting
Oh yeah,
involved. Jamie Ritchie's captain throwing hands and
oh
I'm
yeah,
like, Jesus. And that was actually like the worst fight I've seen in rugby. Like actually being there, what like I've seen you see handbags, you see
yeah,
pushing and shoving. See when it got to that point and it just spilled and it kept going. I was like, whoa, like what is going on? Like
yeah.
you have
Very
like
true.
when you see it when you initially see pushing and shoving, my instinct's like fight, and then I kind of calm down. It's a bit
Yeah,
childish, but it's funny. See that day when I went fight and it just kept going. I was like lads, 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 can't somebody break it up, and the rest just like
yeah.
please, somebody stop, please.
Just stop it. Yeah,
Gentlemen, gentlemen, yeah, it's not, I don't know what that is, but we don't like them, and they don't like us, home or
no.
away. It's so fiery. The head to heads as well. I think it is like 50-50. Like, say,
I'm saying
I think we've won. Like, I think we've played 18 times. I think Scotland's won 9. I think Argentina's won 9. It's very give and take.
I'm gonna say my prediction is whichever team wins will get five. Whichever team loses will get two. I think it's going to be one of those games. I just don't know who. Do you know what? We're recording this on on the Tuesday. We haven't seen all the squads yet.
There's only one squad out as of right.
We've only got the box out right now. If I had to guess, I would make more of a prediction if I saw the squads. As
Mm.
of right
Okay.
now, I think the motivation for Scotland will be there to do it. I think it's going to be a Scotland win with 5 points, but Argentina are going to get two. But I could equally see it that Argentina get the win. But I think it's close. I think it's multiple tries, and I think it's within seven. I think it's close. It's a coin flip because it could literally be like a kick at goal to win. That's what I think it will come down to.
Bugger them because we don't like them. No. Obviously, I've got Scotland. I've got Scotland by about 6. Yeah, so within 7.
So yeah, so you agree with me? It's going to be like a multiple tries within seven sort of game.
That's one. Actually, that's one player we forgot to mention. Kyle Stein. The form he has been in for club
Oh my
and country this
word!
year,
Yes,
even in losing efforts, he's on the score sheet. He's
he'll
just
score.
everywhere.
He'll score like one or two. Absolutely.
But then he doesn't. You're like, of course you did. And it's quite funny because obviously this whole thing was like Duhan Darcy for the top try scorer. Darcy's a wee bit ahead now because Duhan's not playing. But then Kyle Staines is quite like, I could take that.
No, he wouldn't. He's not going to get that record.
He's not going to get Darcy's, but like he could easily get into the top five if he sort of did
How many has he got now? Like 10, 12?
like 18,
Has he got 18?
like 16 or 17 tries or something like that. Yeah, I
What's
think.
the
Yeah,
what's the record now? 30?
38. Darcy's on
38.
30. Darcy's on 38.
Mad.
So for years of me going to the rugby, I never seen the try scoring record get done. Then Voldemort showed up and broke it. We're all, oh, well, hey, well done. And then he fucking ruined it for himself. Then Dar- then Darcy got it. And we're, oh, that's cool. It's followed because it's staying in Hoik, but it's went to someone that we don't hate.
Yeah, and then
And then
Duhan did
Duhan came
it,
out.
and then they
Duhan came
both
out. Oh, yeah, then they started
went.
arguing with it. And then Duhan got dropped.
Darcy's
And
got
Darcy
it.
went, mine. See you later. And now I'm not saying Carlstein's going to get the record, but he can quietly just. I mean, you can Google it. I don't know how.
I'm gonna have a look. Let's
It'll be on the
see.
Scottish Rugby website. It'll say like starts, tries, da da da.
Yeah,
I think he's on about 16 or 17 tries for Scotland.
which is quite impressive considering he's only played for about 4 years, isn't it?
He's not had as many games as many would like.
Yeah, but he has had to get in over um
Duhan Darcy, yeah.
Duan and Darcy, yeah. Oh, he made his Scotland debut in 2020. Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Congo, he scored
Count
4 in his debut, yeah.
18 tries in 33
Wow, I got that
caps.
right.
That's pretty
18
good.
tries on what?
33 caps.
This is like a try, like
He's had
one.
28 starts though. So when he has played, he's
He's
starting.
scored. Yeah, yeah.
It's not bad at all. But anyway, so yeah, our predictions would be we're both going to say Scotland, and we're probably going to say similar things there.
I think just to clarify, we've gone New Zealand, we've gone Italy, we've both gone Ireland. You've went Fiji, I've gone Wales.
Yep.
I've went South Africa, you've obviously went England, and we've both
Yeah, I
went
have to. I
Scotland.
can't not. And then we both gone Scotland. Yeah. Obviously, we could
I
be
mean,
completely wrong.
we could, but that's the choice. But we'll be back next week talking, quickly running over what happens this weekend in round one, but also looking forward to round two because it is 8 hours of rugby for the next 3 Saturdays.
Oh my word! If only I didn't have to teach and miss loads of the games, but then I'll rewatch them, obviously.
I feel like I'm going to end up texting Harry on Saturday. But, oh my God, but what? But nothing. Enjoy.
Like, oh my god, you've just missed the most mental try ever. I'm like, damn, I've just been teaching. Oh well.
These damn kids.
Nah, they're great. Don't no, they're great kids, don't worry. But yeah, it's definitely gonna be in terms of having a tournament that is probably gonna try and rival the World Cup, probably just means that you don't just have test matches and you thing is, the good thing about to like quickly sum it up with this tournament. The great thing about it being in the years when it is not Lions or when it is not the World Cup, it means that people have got something to fight for. But it also means that you don't lose the traditional tours when the Lions do go on and England take and Ireland and Wales and Scotland take loads of players to potentially do a 3-man series with a bunch of fringe players to give them time. So we're still going to have tours, which is the thing about rugby that we love. We're still going to have the Lions in the World Cup. And now we've got this with the potential to expand it to more teams in a few years. So,
Just remember, if you're touring, geography does help.
mm,
You know.
mm. But anyway, I think
That's
that's
it.
about
Yeah,
everything. Yeah.
yeah. So we are back. I do promise we're back. This isn't a one and done. We will be back next week. We've got a schedule. It's going to work. So hit the subscribe button. Hit the little notification bell. Follow Harry on Instagram. Follow myself on Instagram. We're both on TikTok, but Harry doesn't really do TikTok. He is on it. He just doesn't do much on it. If that
I'm
makes
on
sense.
it. I just spout random stuff.
He's more of an intrusive thoughts page.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to
There you go.
like strange skits or intrusive thoughts or sometimes something profound.
If that's your sort of thing, though, give him a
Yeah.
follow. But this has been a Rugby Connection podcast, and we will see you next week.